Everybody, and welcome back to the ATI Podcast. Barrett here. We've got Josh, and we're on site at the Spectrum Record Lounge down here in Cape. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Doing good, man.
Business owners.
Travis Tyson. Parker Bond.
And we found out about you guys. You guys have been open close to a year now. Is that about right? Okay. As of Tuesday.
Awesome.
Wow. So I know that we kind of found out about you, at least referral through a mutual friend that we had, Zach Beery. He had mentioned that you guys were opening up a record store down here. So Ridge came down and scouted you guys out earlier than us here from Waxing On, everybody knows, and Jake, his brother. And so we got the referral, and I was seeing a spine doctor down here, so I stopped in here a few times, picked up a few cool little finds. That's where I got my Fugazi tape and some George Carlin comedy tape and stuff.
Find.
So,
tape.
Very pleased with those purchases, without question. And right away, noticed the vibe, the atmosphere here, and really enjoyed it.
Sweet.
And I was just kind of curious, what was the idea of getting the record store together and that sort of thing for you guys?
All right, yeah, cool. I'll go first.
All right.
So, just a long-time collector of music, obsessive almost, probably.
Yeah.
And I love alcohol. So I was like, well, that's two things I know the most about. And Parker and I had been working at a wine and liquor store here in town, and he just became one of my best buds. And I'd always wanted to do something like this, and finally I was like, fuck it. One night I was talking to my wife, and we talked it out. She was like, you should do it, call him. And I just called him. I was like, hey, man, we should open a record store that has a bar inside of it. And he was like, you either asked the right person or the wrong person.
Did he give you reasons why, or was it just a joke? Yeah.
So if it's good or bad in the end, then you either called the right guy or the wrong guy.
I got you.
I was actually, it was my wife's grandmother's birthday that day. And we had just pulled into the Red Lobster parking lot here in Cape because that's where Grandma wanted to eat. And Travis called me, and it was like kind of a serious phone call. I was like, what's going on? Dude, I have this idea. That's where it really took off from, was that moment.
Very cool.
Years ago.
Almost 2 years ago, yeah.
So I would assume you guys were vinyl collectors prior to opening the store, of course. So you guys already had that bug. Are you guys musicians as well, or playing instruments?
I am. Yes, I play a couple bands locally. Community Sadness.
Okay.
Shameless plug there.
Go for it. Go for it.
And then me and one of my buddies, we have a side project from that band called Versace Moped.
Okay. Versace Moped. I like the name.
I like that. Yeah, that's awesome.
I have two guitars.
That's like me.
The
same way.
To play so. Mostly, I will never write a song or play as well as the people that I listen to every day.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Hey, man.
Same way.
That's all right too. So the thing I noticed right away whenever I came into here was the vibe, kind of the interior decor. I could tell you guys were fans of music, fans of a lot of music that I liked in particular. Seeing things on the wall like, Ty Segall flyers and things of that ilk, so I knew you guys were a little bit on the fringe of the more indie or obscure types of picks, but then you have some classics to me, for example, you come in and see Cure Pornography available for purchase up on the wall. You got Motorhead as well. Just a lot of selection here. And then there's a little bit more of deep dive stuff. So, I already mentioned it, I found a classic for myself here. So you guys got a little bit of everything. Would you attribute that to your personal taste being eclectic, or just kind of knowing that that's what you need to have in a record store? Or?
I think that a lot of the more fringe stuff that you're talking about, that definitely comes from our collective music taste. I think the whole store, our employees as well, because we're all into different stuff and we're all kind of out there,
Sure.
in different areas of music. And then it's also just knowing that there's tons of classics out there that your general population is going to look at and be like, oh, I love this album. Right. Maybe I should buy this.
Yeah.
If we don't have Fleetwood Mac rumors on the shelf to sell, that's a terrible business.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
Also, a terrible business decision is maybe having this wild black metal on the shelf. I don't know.
You're kind of talking to the right crowd for that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We sell everything from Taylor Swift to Morbid Angel.
To Morbid.
Morbid Angel, yeah.
Free jazz. Sell a lot of interest. I was well shocked about the things that we were selling. I want to stock this stuff because I like it. I listen to this stuff. We're going to probably be playing it in here.
Sure.
And we should have it. And then we started selling these jazz records and these Jamaican records and all these other things we're into. And we're like, okay, this is fun.
How do you guys feel that variety that you're bringing is being received? Is inventory moving, or is it sitting on the shelves? Or are you guys seeing people come in here with kind of similar comments to me, like, I can't believe you have those?
A lot of that.
Yeah, I think we've probably turned over the amount of inventory we have in the store right now one time.
At least.
Okay.
Yeah, probably
At least,
about that.
Well,
Which is surprising.
It's good.
We sold way more records. I knew we'd sell some, but not like
Yeah.
this. So,
Yeah, when we initially got into this, we were like, we want to open a record store. It was like, that was really the main goal, is the record store, is to be able to have a record store in Cape, in downtown. And because there's been other ones, that have like come and gone through the years. PMAC was like the legendary music store in
Broadway
Cape.
music was an older one. Yeah, it's no longer.
So we kind of got in this at a point when there wasn't a music store in Cape, and there hasn't been one downtown in a long time. And we were like, we're going to do this. We're going to do it downtown. Then also, can a record store sustain itself,
Right.
on its own,
Honestly, maybe not unless you're in the city, right?
Sure.
Right.
So,
Sure. So that's where the bar piece then came into the
So
plan.
we thought, the bar would be like overwhelmingly large driver of our business, but the records have done way more than we thought.
Very good.
Yeah.
I love to see that.
Probably 40% of our business where we thought maybe 20.
Yeah.
Like sell some. It's cool. It's a working decoration over there.
Sure.
And it's the combination of both things too that I think make it work as well. That we sell that many records, because there are people in here to come have drinks and they're like, oh, I'll go take a look over here. It might be someone who's like, we've had several people who like are buying records and they don't have turntables yet. They're like, oh, now I'm looking for a turntable, or like vice versa.
Yeah.
Or, I just got a record player, or I have one in a closet somewhere. I'm gonna go
Sure.
get my dad's set up.
Yeah, it's like that physical media fire is being reset. I love
It
to
is,
see
yeah.
it.
You see kids buying, like 16-year-old kids buying CDs, and I'm like, didn't guess that
It's
one.
incredible, right?
Yeah.
Super cool. I guess, they can go over there and buy a cool CD for $5
Right.
Right.
and then have this thing
Right.
that they can listen to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we got away from that for a while. And
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I remember the days of going to Walmart, because we lived in a rural area. It was about the only place you could buy anything. And they even had like cassette singles back then.
Yeah.
So that's kind of dating ourselves, but it's not really a thing anymore. But yeah, no, yeah. I've actually come across some good finds and Goodwills and stuff with those sometimes. But yeah, it's rare. You don't see that sort of thing anymore. But I think that's kind of, to circle back, is kind of speaks to the environment that you guys are kind of breeding here. Like, kind of my first impressions when I came in here was like, this is kind of like a cool, like niche, like Chicago, like dungeon bar almost, kind of. Just the interior decor initially, and then
That's exactly what we
That
were
was,
going for.
basement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We wanted it to feel like a basement.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of basement.
Yeah, well, very
Touch
cool.
on that later.
Yeah. So, and then again, that kind of feeds into some other things. Like in our experiences, our listeners know that we all have been in bands or in bands as well, and so like basement shows and that type of thing. That's typically been our favorite type of shows to play, just because of the energy that comes with that, and everybody being packed in so close, and it's so much more intimate. And again, I think you're kind of touching on that nostalgia here with what you guys have, for sure. And another thing I noticed right away, too, of course, is the no request policy behind the bar. So I got to ask you guys about where that came into play. Was that proactive, or is that something you felt like, is there an incident that led to that, or what happened there?
I think right out the gate, it was like, I'm not a jukebox.
Yeah, sure.
And then people, like, the first day were like, can you play this, and that? And I'm like, I brought all these records to listen to. It's like opening day. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And one of the primary reasons for opening a business that we're working at most days is that we get to pick the music.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah,
And
for sure,
Worked hard in here. We should be listening to what we want to.
for sure.
Yeah, the no request sign though was a late addition to the back bar.
Gotcha.
That did happen after a gentleman who came in and was just really fervent about requesting music. And,
Yeah.
we had told him several times, like, hey man, we're just, that's not what we do here. We don't
Right.
request. It's a record store. We just play cool stuff. you might hear something that you want to hear. You might hear something you've never heard before. It's just kind of how it goes. And he was just really pushing the button on it, dude, or the envelope.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, well, y'all should play this, y'all should play that. And so finally, I ended up just walked away and made a sign
And put it up in
put
front
it
of
up in front of him, just to really drive the point home.
Right.
And I think he got it after that. So.
Well, we're not talking out of school here, because he did it in front of the man at least. So there's that.
But I think it's important to if somebody walked in here and we're just playing the Eagles, well, everybody can turn on their radio and hear the Eagles, but can they hear the clean?
Right.
Probably not. So to maybe introduce people into new music.
Absolutely.
So.
And it happens a lot here too. People
A lot.
are like, what are you playing? What is that?
Yeah.
I like that. Do you have a copy of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, to me, when I was younger, whenever I fantasized about working in record stores and stuff, like we had a record store in the Farmington area called Coast to Coast that I just thought, oh man, whenever I grow up, I want to work here. Like I want that to be my job. Like you fantasize about what you're going to play when you work there to expose people to new music and get them into things and maybe develop friendships or routine customers. Even you don't have to go that deep, but I think that kind of, again, back to what you guys are touching on here is that's probably an element of it too, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely say that I'm one of those people, and I feel like Travis is also like this, is that not necessarily like bad music pains me, but when I have to listen to something that is just uncomfortable to listen to,
Sure.
it
affects my whole body, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're free.
Run free.
I'm not going to put a Grateful Dead album on.
It's not your bag.
I know people love it, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing against anybody who likes a certain type of music or anything, but I think also one of the biggest things that's important to me in the shop, and we talked about this in a little seminar thing we did recently, is like the direct injection of our personalities into this place is huge to us.
And that's what's made feel authentic to people and oh, this is a real thing that's happening there. Not like two dudes are like, well, we should open a record store, but
we should play the Grateful Dead because people like that. We should do this because that's what's going to get the customers in here. I mean, we are marketing, we're running a business, but we want you to have an authentic experience with the people who work here. And if they're just playing stuff because it's something that they know,
because it's top 40 or whatever,
and it's just not their bag, then you're going to know. It's like,
Right.
I feel like most people know when something isn't authentic. I do. Like when I walk,
Definitely.
when I walk into somewhere and I'm like, this is weird. I feel like they're doing a lot to try to engage me, and they're missing it.
Definitely.
Because I feel like I'm talking to like an ad or something.
Yeah.
And not like a person. Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like a vectless creature, it's like, it's got no soul behind it. But that's kind of like, twofold here. The band aspect of it, of course, I talked about this on a recent podcast that, there was a period of time in my life that I was playing things that perhaps I felt other people wanted to hear versus what I wanted to play. Right?
Yeah.
So this kind of lends to that for sure.
Musicians, I feel like everyone goes through that type of phase.
And then secondarily, that's the small business piece, though. It's like that's the small business experience is you want to come in and you want to experience people's, personal interest in that sort of thing. It adds character, it adds personality, it adds another layer to the experience that you're going to have at a mom and pop shop like this for sure.
Yeah.
And, I can say is you guys hit a home run the first time I came in here and I started thumbing through what selection you had. And, I think another pick that I got, again, to speak to the variety that you guys have here was the Sigur Rós Parentheses album. That's one of my all-time favorite bands, even though I kind of live in the heavy music hemisphere for the most part. Sigur Rós, an ambient post-rock band, is one of my absolute favorites of all time. Favorite live show I've ever been to, Sigur Rós. Just beautiful, beautiful music. But, again, it speaks to the variety that you guys are bringing every day here, for sure. Now, today, of course, I want to mention we're going to be going through and making some selections inside the record store. So we're going to take a brief intermission at some point today, post-interview with these fine gentlemen. And then we're going to come back with the Waxing On gentlemen, and we're going to do our What's in My Sack segment. So be prepared for that, and stay tuned on our social media. We'll let you guys know before we go live. On the production piece, of course, if you guys are watching this live and you guys want more content on the production piece, we're going to have it all looped in together with a few little Easter eggs here and there. With some time-lapse shots inside the shop here, some pictures that we're going to take today of, again, give you a better feel of the decor and the layout in here and just kind of everything they got going on. So I want to lean into the bar piece of things because we haven't gotten into that. I noticed that you guys do special cocktails. You guys have beer by the can, various things. Kind of what's the approach behind the bar business-wise?
we both have previously worked in like a higher end wine shop, beer shop, whiskey shop, and so we just were very deep into finer spirits and stuff like that. Like that was just the direction we want to go. We like cool craft beers, we like cool cocktails, we like whiskey.
Yeah, I think a big thing for me too with the like the setup of our bar and like the stuff that we carry, and especially with like the cocktail side of it. It's like it's a pretty cocktail driven bar. We sell a ton of cocktails. You know, we have draft beer and other things, but one of the biggest things opening up was we wanted to open up a place that didn't have food, but that you could get a well-crafted cocktail downtown in Cape.
Wear a t-shirt.
And you could wear a t-shirt, right? And feel
Yeah,
comfortable.
yeah.
You know, there's like the other places to get like a good cocktail are in our town are they're higher end, and not everyone feels comfortable going into those spaces just to have a drink.
Right.
And like however they are, however they're dressed, or however they want to be. So creating a comfortable space where more people have access to something that seems like this kind of highbrow thing was like super important.
Right.
For our bar specifically. Like you can come in here and you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm underdressed or
Sure.
it's a record shop.
We also serve PBR in a can. So I mean we serve
We also serve
stuff for everybody.
NA stuff.
Mhm.
Like, you know, so we didn't want people who like, oh, it's a bar. Like, I don't really want to hang out there. They're going to be drinking water. Like, so we offer like NA cocktails that are like actually like crafted cocktails, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just like soda and lime or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's somebody's deal and that's awesome, but we wanted to offer as much as we could to as broad of an audience as possible.
Yeah, and the cocktail piece of it, of course, today I'm trying the White Zombie, which I picked it on name alone. I didn't even care about the ingredients, although I did see that there was bourbon in there, so that's always a plus for
And
me.
unlimited.
Yes, and it's you can't ever go bad with a. It's fantastic. It is. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was like, I usually live in that whiskey sour hemisphere, or like old fashions and that sort of stuff, and it's definitely kind of in that realm. So you know, I like a good sour mix with any mixed drink. You can't ever go wrong, typically for me. But yeah, man, this is refreshing. Hit the spot this morning without question. How's that water treating you, Josh?
It's great.
Yeah?
It's great. It's great stuff. Straight from the Mississippi over here.
Cape has good water.
It's my water. They got a straight line.
wild thing.
Let's hear it.
So it's crystal clear, right?
Yeah.
See straight through, but it has lime juice, orange juice, and grapefruit juice in it. And it has like aged brandy and rum. So it should be dark and like cloudy and whatever. So the way that we make these huge batches of it with all the lime juice and everything in it. Put everything in a big batch, and then you pour milk into it.
Wow.
And then the milk curdles, and then the curd grabs all that suspended matter and acts like a big filter. So when you filter it back out, it comes out crystal clear.
That's
That's
incredible.
incredible.
That like velvety texture.
Yeah.
Like lower acidity.
You mind?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty mild actually. All things considered. Yeah.
It essentially makes
It's a lot more
states. Wow. With all that juice, it has a lot of ingredients. So
Right.
matching that cocktail, it would go bad in batches with all the food.
Yeah. Sure.
That's incredible. Good stuff.
So it's like a classic zombie recipe that we call the White Zombie because you can see through it.
Sure.
And, you know, the band.
Yeah. Absolutely, a great band for sure.
Pay on.
Yeah, like anything that's a little riffy. Well, you know, I like to bring guests on and talk about things more in their personal interest and background and that sort of thing. So obviously, with you guys being record collectors, you guys have to have some prized items in your collection, things that, you know, we'll say like comfort listens perhaps for you, and then you probably have some like diamonds in the rough and that sort of thing. So let's talk about what would be, you know, a comfort listen for you. Let's say you're in a bad mood, not feeling that well, something maybe you more routinely play that's a kind of a comfort visit for you in your collection. Start with you, Parker.
Of course, he's going to have a list.
Yeah.
Hey, if you got a list, go ahead and punch it off. That's fine.
For me, like, comfort listens are like old indie rock stuff. Like, my mom was super into like the early indie rock stuff, like Pavement and Ellie Sebadoh, that sort of stuff when I was a kid. And so, and like the Flaming Lips, like early Flaming Lips stuff. She was a huge fan. Fun fact: Travis and my mom were at the same Flaming Lips show,
2001.
in
That's
Chicago.
incredible.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And,
It's a New Year's Eve show.
which
Fun.
is hilarious.
Is that the Yoshima tour,
Yeah.
probably? Yeah. Nice.
So for me, that's where it always goes. It's like that stuff. Like comfort listens, like this morning, I put on Crooked Rain by Pavement.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of my favorite albums ever. I listened to it when I was a kid, and so that's where I go for like a comfort listen.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. How about you?
No. Comfort List. I mean, like, first thing that came to mind was Love Forever Changes. Like, if I put that album on, I instantly feel this, like, warm blanket feeling.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite record. Somebody, you asked me, what's my favorite record? I'll probably say that.
Okay.
But also, like, last night, you know, I got home, full day of work. I listened to Effigy of the Forgotten by Suffocation, and that literally gives me this, like,
Yeah.
It's like a warm blanket.
It's like another warm blanket.
Yeah. A different type of warm blanket.
But then I collect a shitload of jazz and Jamaican stuff, so it's a hard, everything's.
Where do you go in the jazz realm? Some of your favorites.
Some of my favorite.
Yeah. Sure.
Pharoah Sanders. Charles Mingus, I like a lot.
Yeah.
Who else do I like? Alice Coltrane, John Coltrane.
Yeah.
You know, classic stuff. And then some of the freer things. And I collect a little bit of fusion. If you want to get really nerdy, I love Return to Forever and L.D. Viola.
Okay.
John McLaughlin.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. And let's talk about kind of prized possession of the record collection. Is there something that you have that may not necessarily be the comfort list, and so we'll kind of extract those out of the talk now, but something that's kind of a prized possession of the record collection? Something that you're really proud of, might be high value. I mean, you can go any lane you want with it.
I've got two, like, that are, you know, like my top two. They're both not LPs. Like, so one is a double 10-inch copy of The's Hanky Panky, the Hank Williams Senior cover album that they did. It's
double 10.
Yeah, I love, and it's 45 too. Like,
cool.
I love
Nice.
that album. If you've never listened to it, it is a trip to listen to Hank Williams Senior songs done by The's.
Yeah,
it's an immersive experience. And those are pretty rare. My mom actually saw the when they were touring on that, and they were giving them away at their
Oh my
show.
God.
So, like, there's not a ton of them out there.
Yeah.
So that's
cool.
that's a prized possession for sure. And then the other one is a 30-foot fall. It's a punk, like, legendary punk band from Houston, Texas. I grew up around. My stepdad growing up played in a lot of punk bands. He played with them. His band shared members with them. You know, so I grew up around them. My family, like, my parents knew them. But I have a copy of their cartoons single on 45 as well.
Nice.
It's on. I think it's on blue. It's on, like, a colored vinyl of some kind.
Wow.
And that one's, it's pretty rare too. Like, and it's also kind of niche because it's like, it's not a band that everyone's like, oh yeah.
Sure.
Sure. But to me, it means a lot.
Right. Sure. How about you, Travis?
So, three-part answer.
All right.
One,
go for it.
I'll have to say I have. So, reel-to-reel copy of reels of Love Forever Changes and Love to Capo. A friend gave me. He started watching my posts on Facebook. I was just posting shit that I was listening to, and then he, like, got into it, and then he started repairing his own stereos, and then he started, like, was way into it. And I was like, holy shit! And he's like, man, I want to send you a thank you. And all of a sudden, the capo showed up in a reel, most pristine box. Everything is beautiful. I was like,
wow,
this is the coolest thing ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like a month later, he sent me
damn.
Forever Changes, which I spoke of earlier, and I was like, same thing, perfect box. I was just like, these are the coolest things I have. I don't even
Wow.
own a reel-to-reel player, but someday I'll get them and I'll play them, and it'll be a very special moment.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
that's awesome.
All right,
Yeah,
one more. Expensive piece.
Okay.
I collect a lot of Robert Pollard Guided by Voices stuff.
Okay.
I have 252 titles
God.
of Guided by Voices and Robert Pollard.
Wow.
I
And
think that was the point that we became friends.
oh yeah, this is a quick story.
Yeah, quick,
this,
because
this is a good one. This connected us.
so Travis hired me at the spot we worked before. I'd been working there for maybe a couple weeks or something. It's pretty early on, and we were talking about music naturally, like most days, like, oh, this and that, like all that stuff. And I was like, dude, you like Guided by Voices? Because it's something my mom was into when I was a kid. And I've listened to, like, I listen to Alien
Been around
Rains
a long time.
Propeller a lot. I'm not like a crazy fan, you know. Definitely don't have 252 titles.
No.
from Bob Pollard. and
I
those
don't
guys.
think many people do.
But I love it. Travis, like, stopped what he was doing. He was, like, up, like, putting something on the shelf, and he just looked at me and said, "That's my favorite band in the world."
He didn't know what he was about to open. I should have said, I've never.
You should have just fucked with him and just like
Yeah,
probed.
and then
Yeah, I
down
don't
the
know.
collection.
And there's 252
Yeah.
guided by GBV and Associated.
I mean, I just have So that collection alone is like a very special thing.
Sure.
There's super rare
Absolutely.
stuff in there that's worth hundreds of dollars, and I mean, I'm never selling them.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But I would say that, yeah, maybe that's the prized possession. It's my Robert Pollock collection.
Man,
Maybe the largest one in Missouri.
talk about a band with
I
a
know
serious
people have more
output.
than that.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
ABV
incredible.
fans are wild.
Nerds.
Yeah, that band's always putting out a new record every 6 months or
Three
something
of
like
them,
that, right?
I
Yeah,
just saw them
this
2
year?
nights in a
Yeah.
row in Dayton, Ohio.
I loved both albums last year. They were incredible.
You hear
Um,
that King Gizzard?
Yeah.
King Gizzard, yeah, they're kind of on par with that too.
Bob
Anymore.
mentioned last weekend that he's like, you know how hard it is to make a set list? I've released 110 albums.
Oh my God, yeah.
Big,
How?
Right.
Yeah.
How? I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys saw them recently, right? Okay. How was that?
It's the 25th time I've seen them, and it was
25th? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
like get 1,700 people that are devout fans in
Yeah.
a room when they play an anthem. It's
like magic.
it's like a definite cult.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
everybody singing at the top of their lungs. It's a experience.
That's incredible. One thing I want to ask you gentlemen about too, how'd you rest on the name? What's the origin of the name of the business as well?
So it took a while. We had a million names.
It was there's a notebook somewhere that just has like
We're gonna break it out for our 1 year
a
anniversary.
ton of
Ideas.
nonsense in there.
I've always found that's really difficult. That's like the most difficult of anything is
stick
naming
with it.
something.
That was
Right.
probably like
It's not like you can
worse
just
than
change it in
attachment.
6 months. You know, you got a
Right.
business license and name. You can't just willy-nilly start changing stuff.
So my son Alex, he's 7 years old. He's autistic, so he's on the spectrum, say, and so that's definitely spectrum record lab.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's a testament to all the stuff that we're into. We're into all kinds of different
All
music
over.
and just all different kinds of stuff. And that's a great word, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just a really good all-encompassing term for a lot of stuff that we want to represent with our business.
Sure.
You know, like being inclusive with all kinds of people. Obviously, that's a huge one. It's like
Yeah, definitely.
and like with the influence of Alex in the name, and then music is this wide, forever huge spectrum of stuff. People are into different things all over the place, and so it just ended up fitting the best. Like we're like,
It just sounds cool. Spectrum record lounge should be out. I think we'd even come up with like something lounge or something record lounge, but that one fit.
Well, it's an incredible name, and I love to hear the origin behind it for sure, and I'd love to hear about the inclusivity because it's unfortunate you got to sit around and talk about
How
you
the
know,
world is, right?
how the world is today and
You
how
don't
we've
be an asshole.
regressed
That's what I'm
in
here
some
for.
ways. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just don't be an asshole.
It's
the easiest thing.
it's sad that we have to talk about human decency and the lack thereof in the world today, and it's glad to hear that people are perpetuating things on the good side like yourselves,
absolutely
gentlemen.
providing that space for anybody and everybody to feel comfortable coming here. It goes back to just the whole thing about like being able to walk in here and not feel like you have to like dress up or be like
Be somebody.
literally like come as you are. You
Right.
know, and like our slogan is everyone is cool with Spectrum Record Lounge, right? Because another big thing is like we wanted anybody who comes in here. You might not really be into music. You might not really be into like cocktails or like that kind of stuff. You might just drink freaking regular beers or whatever. Like not be into drinking alcohol or anything, and like being able to walk in here and feel like you're part of a cool space with other people and not have to worry about like the way the world is for maybe
Right.
a little bit is
Right.
like the goal we're trying to achieve.
Definitely. I mean, I think that's what music is for a lot of people, of course, right? Whether you
Music's for
play
everybody,
music
yeah.
or you listen to music, yes, it is for everybody, and it is an escape. And it's, I know that's definitely my refuge where I go at troubled times, and depending on where I'm at, whether it's on the rage side of things or the sad side of things, and there's music's for all occasions, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys mentioned it earlier. You guys are approaching a year. Do we got something special going on? When, where, what's the details?
All
Let's
right.
see, September 12th, we will have made it a year.
Wild.
That's a wild thought. It's
Yeah.
super fun. It's
It
fast.
feels like a decade, but it also feels like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So we joined the Cape Chamber of Commerce recently, and I'm stoked about that. They're going to do a ribbon cutting on the 12th out there.
Awesome.
So if anybody's listening and is local and wants to come be in the photo, we would love to have 100
Yeah.
people in the photo. But then on Saturday, September 16th, a week from today, is our anniversary party, and it's the 2023 Loose Dudes Convention. Dudes, and obviously
That's an
everyone is a
all-encompassing
dude.
term.
Yeah.
Before anybody
In
gets
the words
on
of Kel Mitchell from Good Burger, I'm
Oh,
a
yeah.
dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, we're
We're all
all dudes.
dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Absolutely.
loose being, we like to have a good time. We like letting loose, listen to loud music. We're gonna sing karaoke all day.
Hell
So
yeah.
all day karaoke. We're gonna give away a bunch of stuff. We have a food truck here. We have a really special hip hop set from our good buddy Wig Flip, a local hip hop artist.
Nice.
Freaking awesome.
Nice.
He's brought a lot of super cool acts to Cape, like to our store specifically. So
Nice.
Trying to have like a quarterly hip hop show.
Nice.
You guys from Cincinnati, and it's really,
That's awesome.
really cool.
Very cool.
What else is going on? We have a food truck here. We'll have
Do you already know what type of food truck you're going to have here? Just
the Lunchbox truck.
Okay.
Our good friend Pat Buck here. So,
Okay.
Awesome.
we'll have we're calling it the late 1900s vintage cocktail menu of things like Cosmopolitans, White Russian,
There you go.
Long Island iced teas.
There you go.
We're really dumb, and we like to do dumb things. So
it's calling it an ugly tie affair. So
Okay.
just heinously ugly formal wear is the name of the game.
Is there going to be a reward for the most ugly affair?
There is.
Okay.
The worst dressed is an award. We
Nice.
have a couple awards going out.
Very nice.
During our award show section of it, we have the Lifetime Achievement Loose Dude Award. We have the
best overall performance.
Best Overall Performance of 2023 Loose Dude Award. Best Supporting Actor.
Most likely to succeed at getting loose.
And then we have worst dressed, best karaoke performance.
Couple MVPs.
Hey.
Hey, yeah,
Couple
Mark
of
and I say the same shit all the time.
There you go.
Others say we're kind of like
Hey, man, that's what happens when you're business partners, right? It's just kind of a natural way of it.
Oh, for
Yeah.
the record, we're not related.
We're not brothers.
Okay.
We're gonna
Dude,
miss that a
I
lot.
swear to God, I contemplated whether or not you guys were related.
Yeah.
For real. I was like, are these guys like father, son, brothers? Like, what's going on here? Oh, that's fantastic. Just two old souls linked together somewhere in the ether, unbeknownst to you. Right, right. Are you guys Cape lifers? Have you guys lived in the area all your life?
Actually, neither one of us are from Cape originally.
Where you guys from originally?
I'm from Montgomery, Texas.
Okay,
Birthplace of the Texas flag.
okay.
So I'm proud. House Texas. I actually I lived in Texas in like 1st through 3rd grade. So
Okay.
Texas.
So where are you originally from, Trev?
Raleigh, North Carolina. I was born.
Okay.
Moved around a bunch. Ohio, Pennsylvania, Texas, and then to Monette, Missouri. This little tiny town in the
Yes.
Ozarks.
Yes, Monette. I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. Then I moved to Cape in 2001. You are familiar with it.
Yeah. I used to like play with sports teams and stuff, and we would occasionally go down to that
Okay,
region
well,
or through
we'll
that
talk off
region.
camera about that.
Yeah.
Then I moved to Cape 2001.
Okay.
Graduated from SEMO. Met my wife. That's it. Now I'm never leaving.
What'd you major in at SEMO? Just out of curiosity.
Hospitality.
Hospitality.
So hey,
That's
I
funny.
used my degree.
Yes, you did.
Holy smokes.
Some
I
people don't
am
do
in
that,
the-
So
I've been in the hospitality industry for 16 years. So, yeah. So,
well,
technically,
many
you could
more
probably
years.
add more to that. Yeah, I could probably add more to that. But where I'm at currently, let's put it that way. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
serving the public. I love the public. I can deal with some real Mickey Mouse bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at a certain point, it just kind of becomes automatic, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like a lot of people. I can't tell you how many people, specifically in the last year, have asked me, "Do you like your job or do you hate your job?" I was like, I don't think of it in those terms. I'm
Right.
like, this is what I do. This is me
Yeah.
at this point, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that to sound like soulless or anything. It's just like, man, I've just been doing this so long, I can do this, you know, subconsciously if I wanted to. Yeah. 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 Exactly correct. Exactly correct. All right, so let's end the discussion with a few topics more to get to know you guys personally, individually. And specifically, I want to know, what is a prized item that you would like to have in your record collection that you don't have currently? So we'll start with you, Travis. How about you? Is there something out there? Okay.
So it's 500 handmade covers. I mean, last one I just saw sold for like $6,000.
Wow.
And I don't have one. I have a couple reissues. So that's
Okay. Parker?
It's a hard one.
let's pick one album.
I mean, like I talk about Crooked Rain. Like,
Sure.
just doing, super pristine, original. Other than that, it'd probably be like maybe like early sleep stuff.
Okay.
Or something.
Yeah.
One of the rare pressings of Holy Mountain or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be ideal for me.
Absolutely. You a Caius fan by chance?
Oh yeah, I'd love that too.
Okay. Yeah. Get that desert pentatonics rocking for sure.
Love
Yeah.
dude. I
Me
like
too.
Slow.
Yeah. Slow and low. Yep.
I want to answer this question for like.
Hey, if you got another one.
It's hard
I have
to,
my
like,
Discogs
pinpoint
wish
one.
list.
Yeah, my Discog wish list has become kind of like a dumpster fire because like I get notices like literally every day I get 100 emails. It's like 100 items in your wish list are on sale. Yeah, I'm sure it is for like a penny less than what I was, it's still $300 and I can't get it,
Just
like, oh, it is for sure. Like I would love to be able to get like an original either cassette or vinyl. I really don't care either way, but like Melancholy Infinite Sadness, like I really want that badly. Even though Siamese Dream's my favorite one of the Smashing Pumpkins, still, that has a lot of nostalgia, and it's like hard to get a good original copy of that with somebody like not trying to rape you over the coals on the price,
Right.
Even if you get on eBay and you get like a used cassette version, it's like hundreds of dollars, and it's like the sleeves all damaged and everything. So
Ooh, I have one more quick one.
Go for
My
it.
I have
prized
another one
possessions.
too. Like,
Go for it.
I'm going back. Prized possessions. I have the first 5 original pressing Carcass records, and
Nice.
it that
Hell
makes
yeah.
that helps me sleep at night.
Yeah, I bet, dude. I bet.
I think one more for me would be an original. Oh, I just lost it. I got distracted by the Carcass
Carcass records. Yeah.
Oh, an original copy of Lights, Camera, Revolution by Suicide.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite albums of all time. Super formative to my music experience.
Okay.
Me too. Oddly enough, I've had it on cassette as a kid.
Yeah, I think I had the first Suicide Tendencies cassette when I was a kid. I wish I had my cassettes when I was a kid. I had so many cool ones.
Me too, man. I go back and like shoot myself in the foot. Yeah, I did I did the huge media changeover, so I did the same thing. I had like 600 DVDs to go switch to Blu-ray, and then now I have like all these Blu-rays, which is fine, but it could be worse. But now it's like Ultra HD now, so it's like I want the most newest format, Yeah, so I've learned to just like hold on to what you have because now I'm going back and trying to like doing dives for VHSs and stuff like. It's kind of scratches that same itch like the record dives that like I like going to flea markets and just picking through stuff. Yeah. For
It's
sure.
out there still.
Yeah, it definitely
That's
is.
the best part.
It definitely is. But some people don't know what they have for sure.
It's not too. It's like I think one of my favorite finds in Cape was when there wasn't a record store here. I found an original copy of X Wild Gift at Annie Laurie's up the street, which they always have like cool records and stuff, but you don't see like old punk stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. You see a lot of classics.
Yeah.
And at Pastimes Antiques, I found an original copy of X. Is it More Fun in the New World?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And like a stack of like Frank Sinatra and like all this weird like, Bing Crosby stuff, and that was just hanging out in there for $5.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah. So those are two of my favorite like finds ever. We're like just in the wild in the weirdest place where they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And for like really cheap.
Right. I literally had almost the exact same experience a couple weekends ago. I came across Black Sabbath Masters of Reality original pressing, and it was just like buried in like these kids' toys from like the 90s. And I was like, what?
What is happening, right?
What? What's happening right now?
Yeah.
And I was like trying not to freak out. It was like I had my 18-month-old daughter with me. It was just me and her, and I was like trying not to freak out. Like immediately, I was like, because Black Sabbath, I always say my favorite bands of all time, A and B, is Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, because they just formed so much of my musical taste and interests. Like,
they're responsible.
Yeah, right. And they influenced so many
much
people.
music today,
Yeah.
Black Sabbath Volume 4 is definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of all time.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, you can't. I mean, just anything that first run with Ozzy. I'm not going to shy at anybody. Like,
I'll never get
talking down on.
Like you're like, let's listen to it now. I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah. No requests.
No requests.
We have a
No requests.
There's a couple things that are mainstays back there. Black Sabbath, dancing.
a lot of Misfits and Slayer. Just like things they just like we push play and everybody's working here's happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing I wanted to ask you, gentlemen, is there something outside of just the music realm that you guys are really into, kind of niche or hobbies or whatever the case is, film, TV,
Nope.
anything in the
Partner.
Yeah, I'm into all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
I'm a pick up too many hobbies.
Nothing wrong with that. Let's hear about a few of them.
Yeah. I mean, me and my wife love to like get outside and go fishing a lot.
Okay.
In the summertime.
Yeah,
See my
floating's great.
truck out there, so I think yaks on
Nice.
shells. So we've taken a bunch this year. Last summer it was didn't do a whole lot because we were in
Sure.
here. So, you know,
Grinding. Yeah.
literally sometimes the floor for like 4 days. So.
Yeah.
But you know, so definitely like just getting outdoors and doing stuff outside.
Sure.
You know, getting that nice little reset every couple of weeks.
Great for the mental health.
So definitely that's a fishing.
Fishing.
Me and Travis fish
We
something.
fish together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm into
Some people are shocked
tinkering
by that.
with stuff.
He's
You know?
definitely into tinkering.
Okay.
Yeah, I get into stuff and like I've been like this with guitars my whole life. Everything is like I always tell people like it's not really your guitar until you start drilling holes in it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
Doing some
passing
mods.
through the
Yeah.
inventory until you do something stupid. So it's like then it's your.
So is that your area of focus as far as instruments is guitar?
It was my first instrument was like bass. I picked up guitar shortly after, and I just kind of stuck with that. I picked up banjo like in my early 20s. So I love that. I got really into bluegrass for a long time. I still love bluegrass.
Yeah.
Folk music,
A lot of killer pickers out there.
crazy ones. And I used to live in Arkansas before I moved here. I was fortunate enough to meet a lot of really cool string musicians.
Yeah.
Like string band musicians there. Shout out to Arkansas. Those are the homies.
Okay.
Kind of modern progressive bluegrass. They're great.
Cool.
But I mean, I like tinkering with small motors. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like tons
Yeah.
of stuff.
Literally does all of
It's all of it. I'm just like, I was like, oh, when I was getting some speakers for my stereo setup, I was like, it's like I could buy speakers, or I could get some really cool old shells,
Yeah.
put my own,
Yeah.
just buy stuff and put it.
I
in
did that
there.
as a teenager too, man. Yeah.
So
I can't do that.
and they sound awesome. I love it. Like people are like, what are these? Stuff.
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frankenstein.
Yeah, I used to like go to like thrift stores and get like old car speakers and build out my own boxes and like wire up my. I lived in the basement of my house; it was like unfinished, and I'd run it through like the rafters and stuff in my room, and I would just like you blow on the amplifier out of it, but it sounded amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Sonic.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm trying to think of who I like. I love hanging out with my family, my wife Megan and my son Alex.
Yeah.
We pretty much do everything together when I'm not here. I have a huge stereo in the basement. I spend a lot of time in front of that.
Yeah.
Like, that's the favorite thing. Glass of wine, couch, something cool or hi-fi.
I listen to music a lot. My setup's in our dining room, facing our kitchen, and I cook a lot. I love to cook too.
Same here.
You know, all kinds of weird
Same.
stuff. You know, I just can't go down a rabbit hole and like this one. So other prized possessions other than records, my enamel Dutch oven is the truth.
Okay.
and
Very cool.
Well, I guess nice possession. Yeah,
Yeah.
my receiver.
My in-laws got that for us. Oh yeah,
I have an SX, Pioneer SX 1280. It's some big monster,
Nice.
180 watt beast that made
Nice.
in the 70s in Japan.
Oh, wow.
Very
And
nice.
weighs 66 pounds. And the neighbors know that I
Yeah, I bet they do.
have one. So we fish. I like drinking wine. I like drinking
I like
whiskey.
drinking wine.
Wine, whiskey, nothing wrong with those two things.
Beers.
I've gotten more into the wine in recent years, and I'm like such a basic white girl when it comes to the wine because I like my sangrias.
The table turn. What are you doing?
I'll drink any wine, but like I've been like hopping on the sangria train lately. I don't know why it's just been hitting me right.
Dude, especially in the summertime.
Yeah.
Light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big summertime guy. I was born in the summer, so like I love outdoors. Like you mentioned earlier, float trips, that sort of stuff. I used to fish all the time when I was younger. I used to live on a lake, like a private community and stuff, and so we would fish all the time. I got out of that, but my son's actually recently started getting into fishing, so we're kind of revisiting that. Yeah, kind of doing dock fishing right now, but yeah.
Dude, I've caught some of the biggest fish in my life, dock fishing.
Yeah.
Dock fishing.
It's its own game for sure, though.
There's always fish on it.
Yeah,
There's always fish.
absolutely. So one last question I want to ask you, gentlemen, before we get off here, and you guys have been so generous with your time and appreciate the hospitality here today, and definitely enjoying our stay for sure. Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
so much fun.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you about what's one of the more rewarding experiences you guys have had here inside of the confines of the store this year, your first year in business. Is there a specific example or situation or experience that you can speak to that was very rewarding? Maybe it was somebody that came in and you're able to help them with the selection and you developed some type of bond or really turned around their day or whatever the case is? Is there anything that sticks out in your mind?
The look on people's faces the first time they walk in here, and they're like, "What the fuck is this place?"
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I'm like- and then they're like, "This is so cool," and then they look around and they see more stuff, and they're like, "Holy shit, there's beers."
You could see them getting overwhelmed with like excitement.
Yeah.
Okay.
That moment is always.
I like that.
Somebody fortunately get to work.
Sure.
And they bring something.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure. Like, I think that another thing is, one thing I feel like every place has is that like the hometown syndrome is what I call it, right?
Mhm.
So when people come in and they're like, "Oh wow, I can do this, go to this cool place and do this thing in Cape Girardeau," there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, this place sucks. Like, there's nothing to do. Like, there's not that. I mean, it's a small town,
Sure.
40,000. It's not massive, So, I mean, if you're expecting this big city experience, you're going to run out of things to do fast in town,
Yeah.
Luckily, we're surrounded by tons of nature, tons of cool stuff to do outside. But if that's not your thing, then
Plus, if you go to the right places and you only go to those places, Cape Girardeau is awesome.
it is.
Yeah,
awesome.
I agree.
No
And
lies.
I love it here. Like, not being from here, my wife was super concerned about when we first got together and I was moving here. She was really concerned about me not liking it because I've lived in New Orleans. I lived in Northwest Arkansas. I lived in Birmingham, outside of Birmingham, Alabama. I'm from the Houston area, so I've lived in a lot of these larger places. And
Yeah.
I got here and I was like, "This is awesome.
Yeah.
This place is cool."
Yeah,
This is rad. It's just like this cool, sleepy, like town, but it has a lot of character and there's like a lot of cool people here.
Yeah.
And I think that just seeing people like seeing when people realize that like you can do cool stuff here and like we can have cool things.
Yeah.
I think that's really important to me and like very rewarding for people to like be excited
Absolutely.
about something in their hometown. But they're usually like, "Oh, whatever."
For sure. Yeah, it's creating those lasting memories and impacts is definitely a big piece of any of those boyhood fantasies I had. Back to my conversation or my point earlier, as I had aspirations of doing something in the music field, whether it was being a musician, working at a record store, being a DJ, or whatever the case was always being able to kind of perpetuate some experience for somebody or connect them with some band that was like life changing, and I think that you guys are definitely providing that type of experience for your customers here. So kudos to you for sure.
I'll say the other one is like, we have quite a few regular customers now in the old Spectrum Record Lounge.
Yeah.
And some of those regulars, like, they're like, they're like some of my favorite people and they feel comfortable here. And otherwise I know there's other places that they don't feel as comfortable being. So just knowing that, our goal is being achieved with like the people that we're trying to reach, which is everybody, people who might not feel comfortable going to other places, other bars, like because like they're feel weird socially or otherwise.
Sure.
It's like it's super heartwarming and super rewarding, and to just see
hear
that
that word.
working. Yeah,
Yeah.
when people are like, "I feel
here."
comfortable here. Like I love coming here because it's comfortable. I don't feel like I have to, put on airs. I don't have to feel like I'm being excluded or like any of that. That's probably the best part of the whole deal.
Yeah, and I definitely I can speak to, again, kind of the unique business setup to kind of round this out, and that's the fact that you come in, you see a bar in the back immediately, neon lights and that sort of thing, but plenty of record CDs, tapes, pick from VHS tapes even. It's quite the selection here without question, and I know that, again, it's back to what we mentioned earlier. You can get a little overwhelmed with how much there is to actually look through here. But I've also seen people come in right away and head straight to the bar and then sit down, meet friends. So it's a good social spot. And so you guys are able to provide on both ends of those experiences. If you guys want to come in strictly get some music, great place. If you want to come in strictly get a drink, hang out with some friends, great place. If you want to do both, great place. So you guys are scratching multiple itches here without question.
Thank you.
So
It's super fun.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
almost a year.
Yeah. So if you guys aren't at Terra Taco next Saturday with us for our on-site, please
Get
come
down
down to Spectrum Record Lounge
Hell yeah.
and enjoy their 1-year anniversary here
Place is
too.
amazing.
It is fantastic,
I love it.
and
Thank you guys so much for
again, we
coming.
appreciate the hospitality for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you
Appreciate
guys so
y'all
much.
And-
setting this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We were already customers, but you've got lifelong customers too
absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah, I love it.
All right.
Check back next year. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Let's
it's
do
good
it.
to come back.
Yeah, we'll hook up. All right. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in for the live cast today. We're going to be taking a brief break, so stay tuned to the social media for whenever we go live for our What's in My Sack segment, and we've done one of those previously, so if you guys have seen that in the past, you kind of know what to expect, but if you don't, we're going to be going through with the Waxing On fellas, making selections here inside of the store today, and talk about our selections and why we made them. And a lot of them often tie to nostalgic stories and those sorts of things that we're trying to pick up in our collection, but sometimes we're just picking up stuff to fill out the collection too, so you're going to get a little bit of a mixed bag of all those things. And so stay tuned to the social media, and we'll keep you guys posted. It'll probably be a good 90 minutes or so because I like to do my deep dives. So just a heads up in advance. Thank you, gentlemen, once again for the hospitality.
Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to ATI Podcast and Waxing On with RJ.
Hello.
We've got the whole gang here.
Hey, boy. Hey, dude.
Barrett, Ridge, Jake, Josh, you know us. You know this characters, this rapscallion crowd here.
In beautiful Cape Girardeau.
Yeah, beautiful Cape Girardeau. And
What a place.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
Located right across from the river.
Yeah,
Right
like you can
across-
literally
literally
see
on the muddy banks of the Mississippi.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
you just walk outside and see the river. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we've made our selections for our special segment, What's in My Sack, here today. And so everybody has made some picks inside of the store today. We've got a good collection of stuff. And we're going to probably go through here kind of rapid fire with each person and talk about our selections and maybe why we made some of them. We'll do some deep dives on some. Some of them are just going to be, hey, we bought this. And, you know, now I have 5 copies of this, like Jake, for example. So
Also, some
Stick in the head.
I like to get some recommendations on something new I've never heard before.
Right.
So
Yeah.
right.
So the dudes here, Parker and Travis, they hooked me up with a couple records that I haven't listened to before, and I'm excited to check them out. So
Yeah, the blind grabs, especially when they pay out, are always a good little journey to go on for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
And, these guys have pretty good taste here, so we're taking the recommendations, and Travis is going to be hooking me up with some recommendations on some Jamaican music
oh,
too.
hell yeah.
So he Facebook friended me, so I'm looking forward to that.
Hell yeah.
I talked to him about my love of drumming and tribal drumming and things like that, so he's going to make some recommendations there. Looking forward to that. So why don't we get things kicked off? Jake, why don't you start us off with some of your picks?
Okay. So I got a little bit of everything. I got some CDs, I got a cassette, and I got one vinyl, but I'm on a budget, so I had to cut myself off. And, you know, a record store is good in my book when they have a sealed copy of Limp Bizkit's Gold Cobra.
Yeah.
So I needed that for the collection. And once again, I need it on every
And-
format. And if you know me, you know I love Slipknot. I didn't have it on CD, so I got it on CD. Iowa, one of the heaviest records ever made. And then speaking of
the coverage different.
badass albums that I've been wanting, a great hardcore band from the 90s, Shelter, Mantra. If you like Turnstile,
Oh, shit.
listen to Shelter. I'm not saying they sound exactly like them, but they have some like
The vibe.
you know, like
Connective
musically,
tissue there.
yes.
I need to put that on my
And
list.
then one of the members is from Youth of Today.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course I already have this on vinyl, but I need it on CD too. The first Slipknot album. There we go. And then like Life's a Simulation right here. We were talking about Fugazi and Minor Threat on the way, and I'd say, man, it'd be cool to have the Embrace album. I've never found that anywhere I've ever went. When I got in here, look what we found. Embrace on CD. This is awesome. And then another album I've been looking for because I've never seen any of their albums or anything by this band at a record store. And that's Melodic Hardcore Legends from New Jersey. Lifetime. Jersey's Best Dancers. Incredible stuff. Great band.
I'm
and
jealous
then-
of that find, dude.
And then also, I already have it on CD. Everybody knows I love Van Halen, especially Sammy Hagar Van Halen. I got OU812 on cassette. And then, of course, you know, I got one vinyl. And everybody knows I love the Bouncing Souls. I got their third record on vinyl from Epitaph Records. And that is my selections for today.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
So why don't we pass it along to Josh? Josh, let's talk about some of your finds today.
Yeah, I was just mostly cassette shopping because I'm new to physical media, so I already have some vinyl. So I was just trying to, you know, broaden it a little bit. So I don't have a lot like, you know, like some people. So I'm getting my
Getting your
important
feet under
ones. Yeah, getting my important ones out of the way. So start off with Greatest Hits Beatles. I don't think you can go wrong with any Beatles on cassette. I just think it sounds better on a physical than a stream. So I'm really excited to hear what this sounds like. Greatest hits, so it's all the hits, obviously.
Hell yeah.
Ozzy, we don't really have to go into detail.
Oh, what'd you get?
Diary of a Madman.
Diary of a Madman.
Hell
It's a
yeah,
great album.
dude.
Cassette, yep.
Good one.
They did have the vinyl here, but I found it post cassette. But I'm cassette shopping, so I just went
There
cassette.
you go. Okay.
And then this one I'm really excited about. This is a great find. This is a Black Sabbath Live at Last, and they it's kind of like most of like some of their big hits from multiple albums. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah. But anyway, I'm really excited to listen to this one. I love all their live stuff. I love Sabbath, classic band.
What track you most excited about on there?
On this one,
Yeah.
on Live at Last,
Yeah.
Snowblind probably.
Snowblind? All right.
On the way up, and then on the way here.
Probably Snowblind.
Party.
Snowblind's has such a good riff in it.
And then I grabbed a crystal of the Big Dirty just because you can't go wrong grabbing Every Time I Die because it's all going to be getting bought up now that they're done. So rest in peace to a great band. Can't wait to stick that in and give her a listen. But that was it. I was shopping on a budget. So that's it.
Love when you talk about sticking in it. Yep. Always. Great time. How about you, Ridge? What do we got?
Oh, what do I got?
I know you got quite the
I
collection.
got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I got a little addiction. I had to scratch the itch. I did get one cassette. This is a band band logo that's very hard to understand, but it's like a strange experimental death metal band called the Hyperdontia.
Nice.
I listened to a little bit of their stuff, and always wanted to dig deeper.
I love the
can't
sleeve.
ever find any of their stuff. So it's a double cassette, excreted from the flesh, and then Aberherence Veil. So
Yeah, that sleeve is
double
beautiful.
cassette on a yellow cassette. That was cool. Super good deal on
Like
that.
the sliding cardboard sleeve, too, almost like single style.
Yeah. Like I've seen a lot of crazy cassette things, but I do love a nice little sleeve. But and then seeing this Dead Moon in the Graveyard, good, just classic band. Dead Moon rules. And also thanks to Nathan for showing me that band. Love them.
Yeah.
Then I had to complete my Ozzy collection, Black Sabbath Ozzy collection with this
Now,
really
Dio's
great
up
pressing. Really,
You starting to
Dio's
Dio
up
next?
this really fantastic crisp pressing of Technical Ecstasy. You've known I just recently got Entrance, so I had to get Fly to the Rainbow by Scorpions.
It's a sick cover.
Yeah, that is
Is that what year is that from?
This was their, I believe, their second album.
Okay.
This was before Entrance, like right before Entrance. But I just haven't listened to it. I know I'll like it, so I picked it up. Reasonable, good price. Another one of my favorite bands of all time, The Cure.
Yeah.
Pornography. I don't have this in my collection. I've been looking for it for a while, so everybody knows The Cure. Amazing. And then this one was a recommendation by Travis and Parker here at the Spectrum Record Lounge. They seen that I had a Scorpion record, so it's like, you should check out UFO. I've never actually listened to UFO, so asked them, find me a good record that you think I'll like. And they did. So this is UFO's.
What's their live album that's one of the greatest live albums ever? Strangers in the Night or something?
That I'm not sure about.
Looking for it. Look at
I
that.
know.
Because if not Ridge, I have a CD of that live. They have like an amazing live album. I
Really?
can give it to you. I
Oh,
have
hell
it at the
yeah.
house.
Yeah.
This is another blind buy recommendation. I'm guarantee I'll like it.
Mark Madden, the former WCW announcer and sports writer at Pittsburgh, his favorite band's UFO, and he's always going on about them. So
Oh, for real?
yeah, that's
And
why
Eddie Trunk, that's like his favorite band ever.
Yeah,
Really?
it's always been on my radar because of him, because it's constantly talking about it.
What was a UFO single?
That's Since You've Been Gone song.
Oh, okay.
That was like
That's Kelly Clarkson, I thought.
No, before.
No,
the
okay.
Kelly. Yeah, yeah.
That thing. But yeah, so I'll keep it rolling with another record I've been wanting for a long time. I thought I had it, and I canceled it, so now I'm buying it here. Entombed,
Nice.
Clandestine,
Clandestine.
Clandestine. Yeah, that one.
You got it.
Really, really good one. All I need is a left-hand path, and then I got all my favorite
Nice.
Entombed records.
I think they had Wolverine Blues in stock here.
I have
Really
Wolverine
good blues.
Blues. I love Wolverine Blues, but yeah, I got that one. And then I've got two records remaining. I did get
Yeah.
Crooked Rain
Yep.
Oh, that's
Pavement.
Yeah, that's my favorite Pavement album there.
One of my
album cover
I
dope.
absolutely love Stephen Malcolmist a lot, and then Pestilence.
There
This
you
is another recommendation from the great gentleman here.
Oh, yeah.
Testimony of the Ancients. It's kind of believe they're either Swedish or Dutch early death metal, and really excited to check that one out. I've been meaning to. I've been seeing a lot of talk about how if you really like death metal, you should check out Pestilence. So I'm gonna do that. So
It's a serious stack you got there, son.
Yeah.
serious stack.
Great
I hope
job.
you're not watching, my wife.
Curse of the collector.
I will let my wife
It
know
was a
that
good-
I stayed within the parameters that you gave me.
Right.
I've
Yeah.
been a good boy.
No, I got a
Me
good
too.
deal
Don't
on
cover
all
that.
this stuff. This is
Hey, it's all good deal here at
Yeah.
Spectrum Records Lounge.
it really is. There is a
Yes. Spectrum.
They also have a very fantastic like 2 for $5, and they have like dollar record bins over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the
Oh.
$5.
I almost-
so you buy 4, you get 1 for free.
Yeah,
or
and
something like that.
they're very good quality.
Can I make
like,
a
cleaned up.
confession?
What?
I almost this is deep right here.
Okay.
I almost bought the second Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch CD over there for $2. Because you know what?
Do it.
I do like Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, but I was like, I can't today.
Go for it.
I almost grabbed that. Tell them
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that I wanted to grab myself today, so I'll go into my picks now. Replacements, Tim. I don't have this on any physical format yet. They're getting ready to do the special 30th anniversary, which I would like to get, but
43
On tape?
tracks.
yeah, on tape, I had to check it out without question. So I was excited to come across that. Replacements is starting to become one of my absolute favorite bands.
It's also my favorite Replacements album.
It's a great album for sure. I got another Fugazi bootleg VHS here. It's the one I didn't grab the last time I was here, I believe. And so I'm excited about that. Gonna have to have us another night.
Get the projector
Get the
ready.
projector out.
Yeah.
Gonna burn through that one without question. And on to my vinyl picks. So I'll play on that Pavement note once again. I got Right in the Corners. And my absolute favorite song is actually Shady Lane, which is on here. It's just got a good jangly, like kind of
It's very loose.
mid tempo, very
Yeah.
loose. I always I made this mix CD that we used to listen to back in the day all the time,
Mhm.
and Shady Lane was on there, and I was just like very fond of it. Back in our banding days, if you will, cruising around in my PT Bruiser,
Yeah.
we would listen to that song quite
PT
a bit.
Cruiser
So
gang.
a lot of fond memories tied to that. That's the reason for that pickup, in particular, outside of I Love Payment too. Nirvana, never mind. I don't have this on vinyl. I have the CD. I have thought about pulling the trigger on the 30th anniversary because there's a couple different versions of that out there. It comes with EPs and stuff like smaller 10-inch, I
Some of
believe,
the
a 7-inch.
live performances.
Yeah.
And stuff that haven't been released.
Yeah, but it's like kind of like maddening. And if I'm going back and I'm thinking about Nirvana, me as a kid, loving them coming out, this album was on repeat. Probably top 10 most influential albums for me in my musical taste period. So I had to pull the trigger on this one today.
As a was it Territorial Pissings or something like that? Is like that track. I heard that as a kid. Blew my
The last track's my favorite.
Yeah, it's the
Nirvana
first
song.
track on the second side,
yeah,
actually.
Territorial or
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because our mom had the CD and she would put it on, but when that track would come on, I'd just be like,
Yeah.
I had never really heard anything like that aggressive or anything like at that time as a kid.
Sure.
Like, so it was pretty sweet.
Another
Okay.
big fan, everybody on the show is, of Chad Pyle, that is. Oklahoma City boys. Hopefully you fellas come on the podcast. You guys started following us, so looking forward to maybe having you on the podcast here in the future. But the collection of the first 2 EPs here,
That's really cool.
and I'm really excited about that. This Dungeon Earth and Remove Your Skin, Please. We're
Yes.
huge Chat Pile fans. Chat Pile was in our top 2 picks last year for albums of the year. Ridge and I, it was my top, and I think it was Ridge's second.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what else can you say? These guys are fantastic. Check out Chat Pile without question.
Jeff Paul's amazing.
And the last pickup for me today, I went down the classic route, found a used copy of David
I
Bowie.
almost got that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, I almost. I
Let's
should've.
Dance.
Let's
Yes,
Dance.
dude.
Yes, this is a quintessential party record.
Hits.
Without question, the first half of this just is absolute banger after banger after banger. You've got Modern Love, you've got China Girl, you've got Let's Dance. I mean, just that right there, the dance floor is smoking already. So, and I know this will be a good one for family dance parties, which is a big thing in my house too. $18 can't beat it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
So I was happy to pick this one up on their new arrival shelf. So, guys, check out the Spectrum Record Lounge. We've gotten drinks
Please
here
do.
today. They've been fantastic. Some mixed drinks. What'd you rock
Yeah, what
today,
you
Jake?
end up with?
Well, my two favorite things: listening to records and drinking alcohol. So I can't recommend this enough. And they got Deep Eddy, my friend Deep Eddy Lemon. I've had 4 of these, so
Very deep.
we're gonna have to cool it.
Day drink.
Day drink.
Day
It's
drinking
okay.
meter's been
We're-
turned up.
It's okay. We're about to eat an insane amount of carbs.
Yeah.
So
And
Pile
continue
them
the
in.
day drink.
then we will.
Yeah, for sure.
Great picks, boys. Good
Yeah,
job.
absolutely. Rich, what have you been
Good.
slugging on here today, too?
I am slugging on an amazing Melvin's IPA,
Okay.
which is Missouri. Well, I'm gonna swap it around.
I like it.
Hold it.
I believe a Missouri brewery. I want to say it's not St. Louis, somewhere around there. But
Okay.
yeah, I've had it before, but they have it on tap here, and it's fantastic. This is my 3rd one, I think.
Third.
Here you go.
So
Well, on
Yeah,
the
it's great.
chat with Spectrum
Good stuff.
Record Lounge, both Travis and Parker, I would mention that I had the White Zombie mixed drink down here. I
got a
highly
little White
recommend
Zombie.
that.
Yeah.
I'd like to have another.
Yeah, it's good.
But there's a limit. You can only have one per visit because it is very loaded.
Yes.
So you might walk a little crooked out of here if your constitution isn't too high.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very fantastic place to just come in and get a drink,
The vibe
browse
is
some records.
insane. Awesome.
They have, I mean, even if you're on a low budget, like they've got plenty of deals.
Yep.
There were so many tapes and CDs that were
Yes.
very, very affordable.
You can
and
easily
great
walk out of
quality.
here without breaking the bank and
Yeah.
still getting some select picks for
Yeah.
sure. High quality
Definitely.
stuff.
Great people.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely humble and
I'm
Welcoming.
very,
Great
very,
guys.
Yeah.
very in love with this place now.
can't wait to come back.
I've been here once before. It was a little busy, wasn't it, Jake? It was a little
busy.
busy. Yeah,
It was busy.
it was busy that night. But it was later. It was like 7
Yeah.
o'clock or something like that. But
And we've been here for nearly 4 hours too, which is hard to.
Wow, yeah.
Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah,
doesn't
not at
feel like
all.
it.
but got the interview in,
Unlikely.
did all that stuff.
Absolutely, had a great time. Great time for sure.
Definitely recommend it, though. Get down here and check this place out. Support these guys. Support their business. Support
Absolutely.
local.
And while you're here, if when you leave you want to go to another bar, there's downtown Cape Girardeau has a lot to offer. It's a great place.
Want to get a little gambling in? Just a few skips down the
Hey.
road here.
Yeah,
Jake.
you can go
Swimming?
Go
Go there.
You want to go swim? Go
The
to
baby-
the street.
Slot man,
You look like a slot man to me. So,
slot receiver.
thank
Slot
you all
receiver.
very much for tuning in. Once again, we can't encourage you enough to come check out the Spectrum Record Lounge down here in Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Yep.
And there's all kinds of cool activities in the area outside of this, so you can make a day of it. We happened to run into the Cape Fair today.
Yeah.
And of course, as they mentioned in our interview earlier, next week on September 16th, it's going to be their anniversary, a 1-year
Yeah.
anniversary. So they're doing it up big here with all kinds of stuff going on. They've got food trucks, they got promotions, they got contests, they got specials, they got special drink menus. So be sure to check these guys out. If you guys aren't going to visit us at Terra Taco next week, be sure to come down here to Spectrum Record Lounge for their 1-year anniversary. We thank you all for tuning in, of course. Follow Waxing on Instagram. Stay in tune with what they're doing. Follow the ATI Podcast, the mothership. And let's not forget about Ed Oz In. Of course, Brandon was down in Texas, and he couldn't join us, but we know he's here in spirit. So stay tuned to everything we got going on, and we appreciate you guys
Looking at you, Brandon.
looking at us.
This is Barrett from the ATI Podcast. Each week, Josh and I discuss current events, pop culture, music, TV, movies, politics, sports. Nothing is out of bounds. You can also tune in to learn about rising artists, small businesses. Whether it's music, graphic design, filmmaking, or even a brick and mortar mom and pop shop, we will be spotlighting folks and their endeavors. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Anchor, or anywhere you enjoy your podcasts. Just search ATI Podcast. We would like to thank you for your continued support, and as always, please stay safe out there.
Hey, this is Josh from ATI Podcast. For show updates and news about the podcast, follow us on social media. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ATI Podcast 22, on Twitter at podcast_ATI, on Instagram at the ATI Podcast, on TikTok at ATI Podcast. DMs are always welcome. Have a question for the show? You can always email us at atipodcastquestions@gmail.com. Stay safe out there.